It looks like a world in which we all just do everything on our phones and computers is very good for the company that makes phones and computers.
Joe, this is a story of innovation, and clearly what's critical and the company has demonstrated is very strong execution across product cycles. iPad, Mac, iPhone, those are all healthy. Good growth in newer areas like wearables, services is strong. So a lot to like here overall.
A lot to like, but is it sustainable, Daniel? Is it the fact that we're buying iPads for our homeschooling, for our home working? Are we still going to do that in post-COVID life?
I think there's clearly an element of benefit from work and learn from home. But as we look out over the next 2 or 3 years, I think what's going to become more apparent is that technology is becoming even more critical to our lives. And so, yes, we're going to have product cycles. Compares will be difficult a year from now, given the strong growth. But I think when we look at the innovative products, this integration of hardware, software, and services to deliver a compelling user experience, that is what's going to be critical over the next 2 to 3 years. So there's still going to be volatility, but we think it's an interesting story here.
I'm just sort of looking again at some of these line items. Mac revenue, $9.1 billion. The estimates were $6.8 billion. So that is a huge beat just on selling computers. You know, at one point there was this anxiety that Apple's a one-trick pony. It's an amazing trick, the iPhone, but that it's still dependent on one product. But when you look at these iPad numbers, crushing estimates, services growing fast as a lot of people predicted, it really looks like there's like an acceleration that's broadening out across the product line.
Joe, I think that's right. And I think this is a continued story of reinvention. We all remember the iPod from nearly 2 decades ago, and the company is continuing to build, to innovate, cannibalize itself where appropriate. And so we see with products like the Mac, that Apple is continuing to invest there. iPad, which people were skeptical about a few years ago, has seen a resurgence, obviously helped by work and learn from home. And iPhone remains healthy. And what's important there, I would emphasize, is that even though the market remains incredibly competitive, the iPhone install base is continuing to grow. User satisfaction is high. And those are the elements that really set this company up to create additional shareholder value over the medium term.
First full quarter with the iPhone 12 on sale, and $47.9 billion in terms of iPhone sales, but services doing strong too. So too is the reward to investors. Daniel, authorizing an increase of $90 billion in an existing buyback program, raising the dividend. Is that how you want it to be spending cash?
The first thing is that the company needs to invest in its business and really nurture a culture of innovation, creativity, taking risks with new products and new offerings. So if the company is able to do that successfully, which they've demonstrated that they can, then returning capital to shareholders is an appropriate use. Again, though, I would underscore that the innovation and the investment in the business is the most important thing in my mind.
So before this evening's move, which is now looking right around 4%, the company already had a market cap of $2.25 trillion. So it's great to talk about how good the business is doing, but of course, multiples theoretically matter. Is there any, how far can this run? I mean, we all know the company is operating at an incredibly high level. Is there still value here?
I think, Joe, there is value over the next couple of years. And I say that because if we look at some of the newer areas, and I'll take wearables as an example.
Yeah.
This is enabling Apple to enter new markets like healthcare. We saw what they did with Apple Pay, which has continued to see strong growth. So clearly payments is another area. There's the Apple Card. And so its ability to broaden out, its ability to nurture an attractive, healthy, vibrant ecosystem that developers can build on top of, that's really a critical piece of creating value. And so I do think there is further growth here, and there are new markets that this company has an opportunity to expand into.